What is up, everybody? This is Shot of Sports. You got your boy Jalen in the house. Billy, DC, and Donovan couldn't make it today. They are doing things with their families, I believe. Especially Billy. He told me he's doing things with his family. So this is going to be a quick show. Just a little update. We have the three names of the UVA guys that were horrifically murdered. Really hope their families are okay, and really hope that UVA Virginia community is coming together. The University of Virginia basketball team beat the Illinois basketball team last night, and that's big for the community as well. UVA had canceled their Saturday game against Coastal Carolina. They did not play that game. They had canceled it because of the shooting. They decided to think it was best to not, have any events that day, let people take some time to heal. And they had the basketball game yesterday. So pray for those families, pray for that community, and everyone send your prayers their way, and especially their moms and dads and family members as well of the victims. So really raise their hands. Also, we had another senseless act of violence on the campus of New Mexico State. A New Mexico State basketball player was shot. He was lured by a New Mexico student. It was New Mexico State versus New Mexico basketball game. He was lured into, I believe, an alley or something like that. He was lured out, and they shot him. And the guy that shot the basketball player ended up being pronounced dead at the scene. But the guy that was shot, the basketball player, he's in critical condition. He's, day by day. They got him on a ventilator right now, and they're doing the best they can to get him back up. So pray for all the community. Pray for this senseless act of violence we have of 2022. It's just sad. So pray for all their families and hope everyone is on those campuses are all right. Mental health is very important. And, keep your head up, everybody. And that's what I have for that today. In MLB, we're going to start off with the free agency. We had some big things happen. Teoscar Hernandez was traded to the Seattle Mariners from the Blue Jays. That is a big pickup for the Mariners, as they were already a playoff lock. They got 10 times better than what they were. I believe that, yes, Kyle Lewis was traded as well. He was traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks for a catcher, Cooper Hummel. It was wise for them to move Kyle Lewis because now their outfield is pretty much all but set. Teoscar Hernandez is an outfielder. Mitch Haniger is the outfielder. Obviously, Julio Rodriguez is their center fielder. They got Jared Kelenic, and they also have Jesse Winker. So moving Kyle Lewis was big for them and his career as well. He's going to get an opportunity with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's going to be out there with Chicago native. Sorry. Oh, my goodness, I'm sorry. He's going to be out there with Chicago native Alek Thomas. So I'm sorry about that. Shortstop Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has re-signed with the New York Yankees to a 1-year, $6 million contract. He is going to come back for another season. He's going to give it a full year this time after being traded from the Rangers at the deadline to the Yankees. The Los Angeles Angels made a trade for Gio Urshela. They sent a minor league pitcher named Alejandro Hidalgo to the Minnesota Twins for Gio Urshela. That's big for the Angels. They get another bat to help out Mike Trout and Ohtani. And, and they also have another pitcher in Ian Anderson. So, that's very big right there for them to, continue, their quest for the playoffs. So that's big. And lastly, Cody Bellinger has been non-tendered. They part ways with Bellinger. The Los Angeles Dodgers part ways with Cody Bellinger. That is big news for anybody out there looking for a bat. He had a bad season as well. He really did have a bad season last season and the year before that. But he was Oh my God, sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. He had a bad season the year before last as well. He was coming off of an injury the year before that last, and this was his first full season back from injury. So we'll see what he does next year with whatever team picks him up. I believe that the San Francisco Giants should make a push for him. They already got Jock Peterson. You might as well. They already got Brandon Crawford as short down there as well. I mean, they weren't too far from the playoffs. So if they can sign a Cody Bellinger to get another bat in there, that'd be huge for them as well. So that's all I got for MLB free agency. We're going to run into the NBA real quick with some of the games last night. The Warriors. Yes, the Warriors get their first win on the road against a lowly Houston Rockets team. That game shouldn't have been close at all. They had blew an 18-point lead in the first quarter, in the second quarter. At halftime, they were losing by 5. So they got some woes to correct if they want any chance of repeating championships. The Suns beat the Knicks 116-95. Devin Booker went off for 20. Cameron Payne had 21. The Suns just took care of business at home. The Wizards beat the Hornets 106-102. That was big for them to get another win on the road. Not a win on the road, to get a win at home on their home floor to put them at 10 wins and 7 losses. While the Hornets did not have LaMelo Ball play last night, they fall to 4-14. So that is not good at all for them. Kuzma scored 28 points. He dropped 28 points. Beal limps off the court as well. I mean, they're watching Bradley Beal, very closely. He had a limp at the end of the game. Kuzma went off for 28 and 10. Kelly Oubre for the Hornets had dropped 23 in their loss. Kyle Kuzma or Porzingis, and one of them two keep flopping like they're doing, they'll be in the playoffs. The Kings, yes, the Kings win 6 again. The Kings win again. They win their 6th straight game. They won 137-129. De'Aaron Fox had 33 points and 7 assists. The Kings are here, man. The Kings are here. I mean, they won 6 straight. That puts them 9-6 on the season, while the lowly Detroit Pistons fall to 3-15. They did not have Cade Cunningham play. He was out with an injury. They dropped to 3-15. That is not good for the Pistons, especially what they're doing, trying to do for the future. Jaden Ivey, their next upcoming guy, their next upcoming star, he dropped 24 points as well. The Nets, yes, the Nets get another win. That's big for them going into this game upcoming against the 76ers tomorrow, which will be huge because Ben Simmons is coming and he's scoring. I mean, he might be back. He scored 22 points, shutting down defense. Kevin Durant had 26 points. Obviously Kevin Durant gonna get you his 25, but for Ben Simmons to get 22 points without a Kyrie Irving, and now Kyrie Irving is about to return, if he could get that production with them, they look like a good favorite. They are 8-9 on the season as well. The Memphis Grizzlies lost 115-127, obviously, to the Nets, which makes them drop to 10-7. They will not have Ja Morant. Yes, he will be out 3 to 4 weeks with an injury, a high ankle sprain. Yes, it goes to show you Ja Morant is their team. They do not have Desmond Bane as well. He is hurt as well. And Jaren Jackson is now coming back from injury. He is working his way into the rotation as well. The Cavaliers took care of business. They handled the Heat 113-87. Garland had 25 points. Osman had 20 points. They did this really well. I mean, Bam Adebayo put in 21 points. They did not have a Jimmy Butler tonight. He sat out the game with an injury. They did not have Gabe Vincent as well. He did not play. His left knee was in pain. And Donovan Mitchell had put in 13 points, but they still handled business 113-87 against the Miami Heat's lowly Jimmy Butler. They fall to 7-10 on the season. They are not living up to expectations right now. And this is very concerning if you're a Heat fan. And Nuggets, yes. The Nuggets squeak a win away from the Mavericks, 98-97. Luka had missed a buzzer beater 3. He missed it, and they would have won that game with a 3. But he missed it. It was tough. That's a hard thing to swallow as well. Um, yeah, I mean, Bones Highland dropped 29 points. Luka Doncic did not play well at all. I mean, he shot 7 for 16. He had 22 points, but, he had 22, 9, and 8, but he didn't have that, it wasn't efficient, as well. So his efficiency wasn't there. But he did shoot 7 for 16, but when he shoots that well, normally his teammates play well as well, and things like that. You need Spencer Dinwiddie to show up as well, and they did not. And yeah, they did not have Nick Keaton. Frank Campazzo did not play. That was a coach's decision as well. They decided to bench those guys. Bruce Brown had 12 points. Michael Porter Jr. added 14. Jamal Murray did not play. And finally, the Lakers handled the Spurs 123-92. Might be them turning that corner, possibly. They might be turning that corner. They win 3 straight for the first time since the first week of January this year. They've won 3 straight. So, they haven't won 3 straight since January, the first week of January of this year, 2022. That is very concerning. But at the same time, you can't really, see them because they don't have a roster like you think they should have. LeBron did not play. Obviously, he's having his knee, it's growing as well. Anthony Davis had 30 points and 18 rebounds. They couldn't hold him off the glass. Devin Vassell had 17 points, but at the same time, Jakob Pearl didn't play as well. Keldon Johnson put in 12 points. He had 3 rebounds. He wasn't efficient. Austin Reeves dropped 21 points. He hit 3 threes. So if they can get that level of production with him and LeBron on the court, they may not be so bad after all. Westbrook had 10 points and 10 assists off the bench. He played 22 minutes. Dennis Schroeder came back. That was the biggest key part for me as well, watching this game. Dennis Schroeder stepping on the court. He dropped in 13 points. So that's big for me right there on why they got this win as well. Sorry about that. We have the Celtics playing the Bulls yet again in Chicago tonight. That's at 8 p.m. The Bulls take action. Hopefully they get a win. They need a win badly. The Warriors are back on the road again. They're playing the Pelicans. The Hawks are playing the Cavaliers. That might just be the game of the night because they're full strength and Cavaliers are full strength. The Hawks just don't have. Who don't the Hawks have? I don't think the Hawks have. They don't have Bojan Bogdanovic. They don't have Bogdan Bogdanovic. So, yeah, that's tough. But I think that's the game of the night. They're both 10-6. They're both going to be battling. Cleveland is favored in that game by 2 points. The Magic and Pacers have a game tonight. They play at 7 p.m. Eastern time. The Pacers are surprisingly 9-6, so that's very big as well. You got the Trailblazers and Bucks. The reason I'm saying this is not the game of the night because Damian Lillard is hurt. He would not be taking action in this game. He is out with a calf injury, and it's going to be a Giannis show, really. So, yeah. The Heat and Timberwolves are tipping off at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be a good game, I believe. But the Timberwolves, I feel like they're going to take care of business. We do not know if Jimmy Butler is going to play or not. I don't think he will. He's going to rest the road trip. He will not be playing, including Friday's game as well. Knicks and Thunder tip off at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Surprisingly, the Thunder are favored in that game as well. The Jazz and the Clippers is the late night game. I'm just going to give you a rundown of NFL. The Falcons beat the Bears handedly, awesomely, which is good. Let's just face it. That's big for the Falcons to get a big win like that, to still be in the conference race. The Bears are not in the playoffs. So if they would have lost that game, it definitely would have hurt their chances of making the playoffs. So that was a big win for the Falcons. The Raiders beat my Broncos in overtime on Devontae Adams' 35-yard touchdown pass in overtime. That really 35-yard touchdown catch from Derek Carr in overtime to beat my Broncos 22-16. The Bills The game was not as close as it looked on the final score. The Bills beat them 31-23, but that was just a last minute TD that really didn't even matter by the Browns. The Browns just threw something up there, caught it, touchdown, and the game was over. It was like 15 seconds left, so Bills won that one really handily. The biggest win of the day was the Eagles. They came back from being down 10 in the fourth quarter. They won 17-16. They squeaked out a win, 17-16. The Patriots handed the Jets a loss, which was hurtful. They lost 6-4. The game, really Marcus Jones's punt return, was the biggest thing of that game. It was a defensive battle. Both teams were held to 3 points the whole game. There was no scoring in the second half until Marcus Jones's 84-yard punt return. That's huge right there because, that helped my fantasy a lot. But, yeah, that was a defensive battle. It was a good game, actually. So, yeah. Saints and Rams. Saints beat the Rams 27-20. Matthew Stafford left the game with a concussion injury in the third. Lions and Giants played. The Lions took care of business 31-18. That's big for the Lions, but that hurts the Giants because they needed that win more. The Ravens beat the lowly Panthers 13-3. Let's just face it, the Ravens did not look like the Ravens that we thought we were going to see at the beginning of the season. They just haven't lived up to par as well. The Commanders are here to stay. I'm telling people that Commanders are here to stay. They won 23-10. Taylor Heineke is playing lights out football right now. He threw for 191 yards, but he didn't throw any touchdowns. But the defense took care of business and stopped the Houston Texans, which makes the Commanders 6-5 on the season, which is huge because, let's just face it. For the Commanders to be where they were like 3-4 weeks ago to now being like only 2 games out of the first place, that's still huge. The NFC East is still up for grabs. The Cowboys can just put a whooping on the Vikings, 40-3. The Vikings did. I don't even think the Vikings showed up. I don't even think they showed up to bed last night. They're still 8-2, but you got your behinds kicked. You didn't even put up really a fight in that game. They scored 3 points in the first half and didn't score again the rest of the game. That's just unreal. Kirk Cousins had 105 yards passing. Their leading wide receiver was T.J. Hockenson with 34 yards. And Justin Jefferson only had 33. So you kind of figured that the Cowboys were going to key in on Jefferson, but somebody else had to step up. And it shows you Kirk Cousins can't throw the ball to anybody else but Justin Jefferson. So the Bengals take a big win against the Steelers, 37-30. That puts them big over. That puts them 6-4, right behind the Ravens. Joe Burrow showed out. He threw 355 passing yards for 4 TDs and 2 interceptions. He completed 24 for 39 on all of his passes. T. Higgins was unstoppable in that game. He had 148 yards receiving off 9 catches. So it goes to show you that, yeah, the game was the game was not as close as it showed that the game does not, what am I trying to, I'm tweaking. I'm sorry, my bad. The game was not as close as it looked because, the Pittsburgh Steelers scored a last-second touchdown with like 15 seconds left, 20 seconds left, and then they had to do an onside kick. But yeah, Chiefs and Chargers, that was the game of the day. That game was incredible. Chiefs won that game narrowly at the end of the game, 30-27. Travis Kelce couldn't be stopped. He had 115 yards receiving with six catches and 3 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes threw for 329 yards and 3 touchdowns. All 3 of his touchdowns went to Travis Kelce, and 115 of his passing yards went to Kelce. Isaiah Pacheco had 107 yards 170 yards running. That goes to show you Jared McKinnon didn't do nothing. That goes to show you Clyde Edwards-Helaire didn't do nothing. He was injured. And then Kadarius Toney. I mean, he left the game with an ankle. So, yeah, that was huge. But on the other side, we can't even get mad at them. I mean, it was a close game. Chiefs are 8-2, Chargers 5-5. Justin Herbert threw for 280 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. The interception came at the end of the game on the last drive. So that was hurtful. Austin Ekeler had 19 carries and 83 yards and a rushing touchdown, which was huge because let's just face it, Austin Ekeler don't even normally get 40 yards rushing. I mean, he had 83 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. He also caught a couple balls as well. He had 2 catches for 17 yards. So Austin Ekeler, man, that's my fantasy guy, and he's fantasy king as well. I'm going to jump right into college football real quick. We have some big news, some crazy upsets. South Carolina destroyed Tennessee 63-38. Hayden Hooker, sorry to say it, but he will not be a Heisman candidate winner this year. He leaves that game with a torn ACL. His season is over. Me personally, I believe after that, Tennessee's season is over. Not only are they college football chances of going to the college football playoff over, they lost their star quarterback as well. They're done. I think their season is over after that. I mean, you can't bounce back from that. Number 6, LSU will move up into that spot. No, most likely they handled UAB 41-10, but you cannot rule out USC taking that 5 spot because they were number 7 and they went to UCLA and won 48-45. Caleb Williams emerged out of the dirt. He threw 470 yards with 2 touchdowns. I mean, Dorian Thompson-Robinson did all he could do as well. He threw 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, but he threw 3 interceptions. He's here to stay. He's here. He's coming. But at the same time, he's got some growing to do as well. UCLA is now 8-3. USC is now 10-1. So I believe USC will be that 5th spot as well. I mean, you can't count out LSU. No, they're 9-2, but at the same time, USC is convincingly more, and every week is more and more and more, a lot better than what they look at the beginning of the season. So it's really starting to look well for them as well. Arkansas destroyed Ole Miss at home. They won 42-27. Ole Miss will drop, and now their college football playoff dreams are over as well. Utah, well, my pick that I said on my the pick that I said that Utah was going to rise as well on my sports show with MUTV, they're not going to rise. I mean, they got 8. They're 8-3. They were number 10. They went to Eugene, Oregon, lost 20-17, and I don't believe that they will be close into there. I don't think they're going to go to the Pac-12 championship. I just thought that Utah was a lot better than what they showed. Cam Rising didn't throw. He didn't throw a touchdown at all. He had 170 yards passed for 3 interceptions. The game was just not his, and Bo Nix outperformed him with 287 yards with 1 touchdown as well. Basketball happened. NCAA basketball is happening right now as we speak. If you would like to watch some of the smaller schools as well, you're going to have some jamborees all this week. We got some classics. We got Thanksgiving basketball. We got Battle for Atlantis coming up soon as well at the end of the week. Thanksgiving is here, which means it's going to be sports on sports. You got national college football. You got college football, big games. You got rivalry games. That's going to be on Saturday as well. You got Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan will take that, I believe. Blake Horn will be back. He's going to rush for almost 150 yards with 2 touchdowns. They're not going to be able to stop him, I don't believe. Big rivalry games. That's the biggest game I could think of at the moment. I have to get back to you on the other ones. But you got National Football League. You got NFL on Thursday as well. You're going to have Thanksgiving turkey football as well. So you're going to have that. You're going to have all kinds of sports. You're going to have college basketball in the morning. college basketball with Battle of Atlantis, I believe, starting Wednesday. So, yeah. Like I said, Virginia, they took care of business. University of Virginia won. They won last night against Illinois, 70-61. They needed that big win as well. Myrtle Beach Invitational, we had Texas A&M handle Loyola Chicago. North Carolina handled James Madison for them to keep the number one spot. Michigan narrowly beat Ohio in overtime. Michigan, I don't believe, is going to be that good. They're barely beating teams that they should be beating. Gonzaga destroyed Kentucky. That game was not as close as it looked. It was they won 88-72, but in the first half, it was all Gonzaga. Kentucky looked like they didn't even want to show up to play basketball in that game. So, Houston is here to stay. Number 3, Houston took care of Oregon in Eugene, Oregon. They won 66-56 as well. Now, today is big, man. It's a big day. Very, very big day. Today, or yesterday, I believe. Yesterday was the start of the World Cup. Yes, the FIFA World Cup started yesterday. Yesterday we had we had Ecuador take on Qatar. Qatar is the host of the World Cup. Ecuador won that 2-0 in full time. And we just had some games go final today, early this morning, at about 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. We had England take on Iran. England just destroyed Iran 6-2 in full time. And the game that just wrapped up, getting ready for the USA game in about an hour from now, or 30 minutes from now, you're going to have USA versus Wales. They start in about 30 minutes. They start at 1. They start at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. And the Netherlands just took care of Senegal 2-0 in full time. So it's time for the holiday season. My favorite time of year. What do y'all think? Who y'all think gonna win the World Cup? Me personally, I want USA to win it, and I'm going to take USA to win it. So, yeah, there's nothing else to really say. World Cup is here. Holiday season is here. Like I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, the World Cup is going to start off the holiday season. And, that's how that went. That's all I got for you all today. I told you all this was going to be a quick one because my buddies aren't here today. So I was going to give you a rundown of what happened in the world of sports this past weekend. Dak Prescott looked pretty good against the Vikings, and Kirk Cousins did not. So it goes to show you that Kirk Cousins needs Justin Jefferson to go off. So that's going to do it for this episode of Shot of Sports. I want to let everyone know that what did I want to tell y'all? Oh yeah, I wanted to tell y'all that I would be back in Chicago, back home for Thanksgiving. I will be leaving tomorrow as well, Tuesday, and I will get to see my family for a week. So, yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Shot of Sports. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and definitely eat some turkey. Eat some turkey. Get full. It's that time of year. Holiday season is here. Time to celebrate with our families. Time to wish everyone. Time to tell your loved ones you love them. It's time to, it's happy time now. It's happy season. So it's time to appreciate the family you have. Time to appreciate everybody that you have around you. Wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Tell your loved ones you love them. Give your mom and dad a hug and tell them you love them. And I'll see you on the next episode of Shot of Sports. We will see you in about a week. So thank y'all for tuning in. Definitely drop comments, like, share, and subscribe. As Demetrius would say, he would give you a quote of the day, but my quote of the day is spend time with your loved ones. Tell your loved ones you love them. Tell the people that surround you that you appreciate them. And, that goes a long way, especially in this time of the year, especially in this day and age that we have, that we may not be able to see our families ever again because of all this sense of violence. So, definitely whenever you can say it, tell your loved ones you love them, man. I will see you in the next episode of Shot of Sports. All right. Take care.